Yeah, you'll be having a conversation with me. Okay, Richard, so if you could just introduce yourself, say who you are, and what your name is, what your role is.
Richie Venton, Scottish Socialist Party Trade Union Organiser.
So Richie, what has brought you here today?
A desire to continue the tremendous work that the SSP has done in putting forward an alternative socialist vision for the working class of Scotland, and to seek other allies on the left to build the biggest possible challenge for a new and different Scotland in next year's elections, because we have parties that claim to represent things like social justice and to be against Tory austerity, but which in fact in reality carry out Tory austerity in their different forms, whether that be Labour or SNP, for example, at council level. What we need is a challenge to that, and the Scottish Socialist Party is very pleased and proud to be a party that's affiliated to Scotland's Left Alliance Rise in order to challenge in the elections next year.
How would you say the SSP is different to other organisations or individuals within Rise?
Well, the first thing that I would do is take the advice of James Connolly to try and seek what we have in common rather than our differences. And hopefully the vast majority of the hundreds that have attended today would agree that we live, I'm sure they would, that we live in an obnoxiously unequal, unjust, class-divided society, and that what we need is a radical redistribution of wealth. The SSP has consistently argued for measures to do that, such as an immediate £10 minimum wage for everybody over 16. We've argued also for a maximum wage to help to close the inequality gap, and we argue for public ownership of energy, of industry, of banking, of services as a means of organising production and distribution and services for people's needs and not for the greed of a few. I think in broad terms that would probably get a lot of support amongst other people who are joining Rise, the Left Alliance, and also think that the agreement would be there for a Scottish Republic. I don't know if everybody would agree with an independent socialist Scotland. Certainly the SSP will continue to argue for that, and hopefully we'll find out if others agree. So I don't know if there's vast differences on some issues, but the one thing I can say with certainty on behalf of our own party is that we will continue to advocate the full undiluted socialism that we've always fought for, and hope to persuade others of the same.
So how would you describe the atmosphere of the event?
First of all, I would say one of enthusiasm, hope, and a determination to challenge the powers that be and to challenge the parties that preside over an obnoxiously divided society. So I would say that there's a great feeling of hope from new people that have not been involved previously, but also from people who maybe give up the ghost for a time because they didn't feel that they were going to achieve what they wanted. So I'd say that's one of the things that comes across already in the first couple of hours, and also a lot of support for those who have spoken of socialist visions for Scotland.
Can you tell me what RISE stands for?
It stands for respect, independence, socialism and environmentalism. And to put it in a different way, it also is Scotland's Left Alliance, or at least the beginnings of it, because I would hope that that's all it is, the very beginnings of a process to establish a genuine, broad Left Alliance in Scotland for next year's elections, without people having to give up if they're already in an organisation, without having to give that up, but to be part of, if you like, an alliance or a coalition of like-minded people in broad terms. They're there to challenge not just Labour, obviously the Tories, but also the SNP, who actually play a rather two-faced game quite often in terms of their leadership, where they'll say they're anti-austerity but pass on Westminster's cuts. They'll say they're against the vicious anti-union laws, and we really admire and respect and welcome that, but they've never once said, for example, that they would repeal all the existing anti-union laws, which is where we would stand for.
Right, that's perfect.